In the last 12 hours or so, all of that moisture's kind of come to an end, and we're starting to get an increase in wind and some sunshine. So we're expecting fire activity to pick up a bit today and going into the next few days.
That was Wildfire Division Chief John Glover of the Anchorage Fire Department. A few days of rain has raised morale for firefighters, but there's still a risk of the Bear Creek fire spreading.
And crews from around Alaska have arrived to assist, including teams from the Anchorage Fire Department.
Good evening. Tonight, the Bear Creek fire is at more than 26,000 acres.
And a community meeting is taking place at Tri-Valley School. This right here, a live look at that meeting from our Fairbanks school.
And we're going to have more on that in a minute. First, we go to Alex Bengal with a report from near the fire line.
Fire activity has been significant here in the Denali Borough, and a meeting is taking place right now at the Tri-Valley School. Fire managers are addressing borough residents, providing updates on the fire and containment operations. This fire has forced evacuations around the borough as flames have jumped the Parks Highway, forcing increased traffic control. While rain from the interior last night might have helped, the latest updates from the Alaska Fire Service as of this morning say the Bear Creek fire remains without any level of containment. So far, this fire has consumed more than 26,000 acres in the borough. While we didn't see any flames from the highway while driving down from Fairbanks, a roadblock remains in place and the governor has declared a disaster for the area. According to the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, the declaration activates the state's public and individual assistance programs designed to help communities and individuals recover from disaster events. We plan to keep you updated tonight on our newscasts and our website. Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
Again, that was our Adrian Peterson reporting. Here's another live look at that meeting. This started around 6 p.m. The idea there to give the public a chance to ask questions after first responders give their own updates on some of the ongoing fires in this area.
And this is a massive effort. The Bear Creek and St. George Creek fires together total nearly 50,000 acres as of last check, 250 total personnel assigned, and more crews are arriving soon. And we'll have more details tonight on the Alaska's News Source Late Edition.
And now this is the Alaska Interagency Coordination Center's Situation Dashboard. Have a look at this. It's a live page updated in real time.
So dozens of staffed fires across Alaska at this hour and about 200 active fires that are being tracked right now. Statewide, more than 250,000 acres have already burned. And we've mentioned evacuations that are underway for multiple wildfires. Are you prepared to leave your home in a split second?
Here's a quick overview of some items recommended for wildfire go kits. And this should all be in an easy to carry bag or backpack and be in a convenient location. You'll want at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, along with 3 days worth, also per person, of non-perishable foods. Electronics-wise, you want your chargers, flashlights, batteries, and a radio. All that good to have.
Now, for fires in particular, it's good to have dust masks, maps with evacuation routes already identified, and glasses if you need them, versus contacts. Have hand sanitizer and a first aid kit, too, with burn treatment provisions. And make sure that you have copies of important documents, such as your ID, as well as prescription meds needed for you and any pets that you may have. Now, there's much more that you can pack into those go kits, but those are just some basics. For example, you can save backups of important digital files onto a hard drive that you're able to carry with you.
And your bag should be light enough for you to carry if possible. And again, keep it in a place where you can easily grab it.
Well, we told you yesterday about a report from the Wall Street Journal that said Shell and BP were in ongoing talks about a potential merger. Reuters then reported Shell denied those claims. BP had not responded to a request for comment. Well, today, Shell put out a formal statement emphasizing that it is not actively considering a bid for BP. The company added that being bound by United Kingdom rules, the statement itself bans it from bidding for BP for the next 6 months. Now, here's a portion of that formal statement directly from Shell's website. Quote, in response to recent media speculation, Shell wishes to clarify that it has not been actively considering making an offer for BP and confirms it has not made an approach to and no talks have taken place with BP with regard to a possible offer. We remain focused on delivering more value with less emissions through performance, discipline, and simplification. Shell says that the 6-month ban on making an offer for more than 30% of BP's shares can be shortened. That can happen under the UK's takeover code, for example, if BP invites an offer, according to the regulations.
And we've got an update on another developing story tonight. The managers of the cargo ship Morning Midas are releasing a statement about the ship's demise. The Morning Midas was on its way to Mexico carrying about 3,000 vehicles when the ship was abandoned after a fire on board. On Monday, it sank into more than 16,000 feet of water, according to authorities. Today, managers of the ship say it's launched an emergency response following initial reports of smoke coming from the ship. All 22 crew members were evacuated safely. No injuries were reported. The company also says there are pollution mitigation efforts underway right now. A prepared statement from the Zodiac Group, the managing company, says as a precaution to salvage tugs containing pollution control equipment, those remain on site to monitor for any signs of pollution or debris. Their crews are safe. A specialized pollution response vessel is also en route to the location as an additional precaution. All operations continue to prioritize the safety of personnel and the protection of the marine environment. All right. Ketchikan, North Tongass, and South Tongass Fire Department crews responded to a crash on the Tongass Highway today. A school bus carrying dozens of cruise ship passengers crashed at around 9 this morning when it collided with an SUV. The crash closed down the highway for about 45 minutes, and 2 cruise passengers, as well as the driver of the SUV involved, were taken to a local medical center by ambulance. The highway is now reopened.
And as first reported by the Alaska Beacon's James Brooks, Senator Lyman Hoffman, the Alaska State Legislature's longest-serving lawmaker, will not seek re-election next year. Hoffman, who represents Southwest Alaska, has served in the state capitol since the late 80s, stepping down in 2026 after nearly 40 years as a state legislator. According to the Alaska Beacon, the Bethel Democrat confirmed on Wednesday his intention of not seeking re-election.
Hoffman, a staunch representative for his region and rural Alaska as a whole, became a House lawmaker in 1986 before being elected to the Senate 8 years later. He indicated to the Alaska Beacon that balancing family life with state business and leaving home have been the toughest part. Among his most notable successes were funding rural schools, creating an endowment fund for the Power Cost Equalization Program, which subsidizes rural power costs, and setting up a weatherization program across Alaska.
And an Alaska Native woman is the Orthodox Church's first female North American saint. That's according to the Associated Press, which says that Olga Michael was a midwife and a mother of 13 before she passed away at age 63 back in 1979. The wife of an Orthodox Christian priest, she was a matushka, or a spiritual mother, to many more.
Olga, a Yupik woman, became known across Alaska for quiet generosity, piety, and compassion, in large part for her consoling of women who had suffered abuse, miscarriage, and more. We've got this full story on our website now.
It's time to turn to the forecast. What a beautiful day in Anchorage today. You have some nice light breeze out there.
And some sunshine for all of you getting outside right now, including our chief meteorologist, Melissa Fry. We can hear the music. How's it going down there?
So much fun down here. We're live after 5 here in Town Square Park. I just have to show you the stage and what's happening right now with the Blackwater Railroad Company. Look at that saxophone go. We've seen a guitar. They are getting people dancing. We've got bubbles. We've got fun. People bringing their dinner to Town Square Park tonight. What a fun night to do so. Weather, not too bad either. We've got some beautiful sunshine out here. Let's take a look at those current conditions. Sitting right at 59 degrees, which honestly, when it was 61, it was a little too warm, so glad it's down to 59. We do have that dark cloud as you head out to the east side of town. Closer to the mountains, we still have some showers developing. Not seeing any of that in downtown yet, but we'll see that chance as we head later into the night. 67 now in Fairbanks. It is still warming. Clouds clearing from the interior. Palmer, we do have a little bit of cloud cover at 63. Ketchikan, mid-50s with those rain showers pushing through tonight. We're going to see some rain pushing across the Kenai Peninsula tonight, tomorrow, into Sunday. I do expect most, if not all of that, to stay south of Anchorage and the valley. We will see again those wet conditions pushing into Prince William Sound and into southeast. Our rainfall total again, will be impressive. But as we look ahead to the weekend, again, we are going to see some nice conditions for your Friday and for your Saturday. Mostly sunny with those high temperatures back into the mid-60s. Definitely get the chance to get out there and enjoy it. And hey, Blackwater Railroad Company still on stage through 7:30 tonight. Lots of time to get down here and enjoy it. And they are rocking Town Square Park tonight.
All right, rock out. That is good stuff. They even got a saxophone in that band.
I love it. I love it.
There. All right, have fun. All right, we're going to go to Juneau for a couple of updates out of the Capitol tonight. That's right after the break.
Plus, a pro hockey team is being represented here in Anchorage. The Kraken visit Alaska, ahead on Alaska's news source.
Payday loan bill vetoed. Lawmakers say 15,000 Alaskans take out 5 of what are supposed to be short-term loans every year. They often have extremely high interest rates.
The legislation proposed mandatory 36% interest limits with small loans under $500, which currently have no limits. Bill supporters say that's a problem that can lead to anywhere from 200 to 500% interest. In his veto, the governor said there'd be issues enforcing this policy and argued it would add more costs to the state.
Going to assume and guess that the enforcement challenges could be exactly what I was talking about, that we would not have that control if these payday lenders were not in our country and they are out of country. And I'm assuming that, but I that's the conversation that we actually had during, the process of the bill. And again, I think he hits it right. I
really believe in empowering the finances of individuals in order for folks to uplift themselves out of poverty. And payday loans are so predatory on low-income individuals. And oftentimes people are caught up in a cycle of taking out another loan to pay back the debt from their last loan. And it doesn't do anyone any good to be able to help someone pay their actual bills or whatever their needs are.
Lawmakers who spoke to Alaska's news source said it's unlikely this bill will be overridden in January.
And rural school funding also vetoed for Sitka's Mount Edgecombe High School. The REAA fund helps rural schools pay for construction and maintenance fees. Sitka Representative Rebecca Himshoot says under the current law, Mount Edgecombe High School can't get those funds because it gets funding from the Department of Transportation and Public Facilities.
Governor Mike Dunleavy said that the veto came because he felt the Mount Edgecombe project did not have specific deadlines and added what he called ongoing operating costs to the state. The bill passed almost the legislature almost unanimously.
Yeah, and when the legislature speaks with such a unified voice, I would like that to carry weight with the governor. I also understand there are a lot of needs in the state. This, I think, was a way to more creatively use the funds we do have and to focus a little bit more on our rural schools.
Now, if votes stay the same, this bill would survive a veto override, but that's unlikely to happen before session starts in January.
And we're live here at Live After 5 in Town Square Park. We're telling you all about the weather, enjoying the live music here. Free event. We'll tell you all about it after the break. But first, look at those daylight hours. Lots of time to still enjoy this Thursday night. Sun not setting in Anchorage until 11:41, 12:45 in Fairbanks, 10:07 in Juneau, and not until 12:24 in Bethel. We'll see you after the break. Stay with us.